Hey, what's going on, Z Nation? Zaid here, ZSPN. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers as it concerns day 2 of the free agency market. And I want to give you all my thoughts and my opinions about Rob Pelinka and the recent signings that they've made for these past 2 days now, and the impact that's going to be when it comes to this Lakers team surrounding LeBron and Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook, and for other free agents that the Lakers could be pursuing when it comes to building this team to a championship caliber team going into the 2021-2022 season. And I want to give you all my thoughts and my opinions about so far, how the Lakers been doing so far in free agency. But before anything, like always, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share my videos all over Facebook, Twitter, all the good social media stuff. And of course, like always, please be sure to like my page on Facebook, ZSPN, and also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at ZSPN. I'll leave the links to my social media sites in the description of this video so you guys can check out my social media sites. And of course, guys, hit that notification bell so you will know when I upload on this channel. It's very important to hit that notification bell right next to the subscribe button so you will know when I upload on this channel, because there's going to be a lot of news going to be coming out when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers and free agency and who they potentially be signing when it's all said and done. And if you guys want to know more about it, please just hit that notification bell so you will know all about it. So I really appreciate it, and thank you for all the support you guys give me on this channel and all across social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I really do appreciate it. So guys, let's just talk about the Lakers, about the free agency so far. I mean, the Rob Pelinka has been on a roll when it comes to building this team to the best of their ability. I mean, in day one, Rob Pelinka signed former Lakers back in LA, and that is Trevor Ariza, Wayne Ellington, and Dwight Howard. And I have to say, guys, that was like the best move so far for the Los Angeles Lakers, especially bringing back Dwight Howard, in my opinion, because he brings that defensive help that the Lakers been lacking when it came to last season. We just knew by just not having Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, the defense for the Los Angeles Lakers has diminished very badly. And obviously, with Dwight Howard coming back, it kind of brings that momentum to the fold for the Los Angeles Lakers going into next season. And all indications are showing that he could be backing up a potential center for the Los Angeles Lakers. It could be Anthony Davis or Marcus Gasol when it's all said and done. And it still remains to be seen if the Lakers will look for another center in free agency, but still remains to be seen about that. But so far as it is, the Los Angeles Lakers have Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard, and Marcus Gasol as our pure centers for the Los Angeles Lakers. And picking that guy up is just a huge win for Rob Pelinka and the Lakers organization. So great job for them. Wayne Ellington, bringing him back because of the shooting that the Lakers were lacking. Shot 42% from the three when he was in Detroit. So obviously, when it's all said and done, the shooting was the main priority all along when it came to the Lakers in free agency, who they were pursuing. And, by the time I get to the rest of this list, I mean, shooting was the priority. And, the Lakers went after some players who have shooting ability on their resume in today's second day in free agency. So I want to get to those players after I just, finish up the first batch of the free agency signees for the Los Angeles Lakers. But Wayne Ellington coming back to the Los Angeles Lakers in a much different light, made a huge wonders of the Lakers. Just going after some key parts in that position. So great job for Rob Pelinka and the Lakers organization. And I know Lakers Nation are very happy when it comes to the Lakers and them pursuing players who have shooting backgrounds. So welcome back Wayne Ellington to the Los Angeles Lakers. The third player is obviously Trevor Ariza. Trevor Ariza was that guy who won a championship with the Los Angeles Lakers back in 2009, when we won back-to-back championships with Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol and Andrew Bynum and Phil Jackson as the coach. I mean, it was some great times during that year, and Trevor Ariza was part of that championship run for the Los Angeles Lakers at that time. And since then, he moved on and played with different teams, but the Los Angeles Lakers recently wanted to bring him back because he brings that 3-and-D type of mentality to the table. He can play defense for you, and he can shoot threes when it's all said and done, and that's was something that the Lakers were pursuing when it came to the past couple of years, but the Lakers never had a chance to get the opportunity to sign him because other teams jump on the chance to get him. So finally, he's on the Los Angeles Lakers, and he was just the basic need the Lakers were looking for when it came to finding a 3-and-D type of player. And defensively, he is well known for playing very well defense throughout his career and also shooting threes. So the Lakers did a very good job by bringing him back, and in a much different situation. And now it still remains to be seen how he will fit in the rotation for the Los Angeles Lakers. He could be part of the second unit for the Lakers, or he could be starting. You never know about the circumstances of if the Lakers will look for other free agents to sign in the next couple of days or just throughout free agency. So that's something to look forward to when it comes to seeing what the Lakers' mindset is still about improving this team. And but still remains to be seen about Trevor Ariza's position on the Los Angeles Lakers, but it looks like more of a guarantee they could be potentially backing up LeBron James, or maybe just being part of the rotation. He could be the starter, but it still remains to be seen about that at the small forward. So still remains to be seen about that. So those were the guys that was the first batch of the free agency market. And also the Lakers signed Ken Bazemore, Ken Bazemore. He was a former Laker as well during his times with the Lakers back in 2000, I believe 14 or 13. He had a very short run, and the Lakers just couldn't bring him back, and he went and signed a big contract with the Atlanta Hawks, and I believe that was like his best year was with the Los Angeles Lakers at that time. He averaged like 13 points and just played very well for the Lakers at that time. And now he's back with the Los Angeles Lakers. He turned down some other offer that came his way. I believe it was from the Warriors, but I guess he wanted to prove his value more. So I think joining the Lakers will open an opportunity for him to bring his shooting ability to the table as well. He shot 40% from the three, I believe, last season. And, throughout his career, he's been averaging around like 38 to 40% from the three. So he has experience of shooting the three in his NBA career. So the Lakers bringing him back is a good move for the Los Angeles Lakers. And it's just always great to see a familiar face coming back to the Los Angeles Lakers, and we are kind of seeing a familiar rhythm of the Lakers reuniting former Lakers to Lakers land. So obviously, it's just a nice to see former Lakers coming back to the Los Angeles Lakers. So welcome back, Kent Bazemore. But those were the first batches of free agent signees in the first day of free agency. And so far, if I had to give a grade, I would have to give the Lakers like a B plus or an A minus, because the reason I'm ranking that number is because the Lakers lost Alex Caruso in the process, but the Lakers in the next day, today with signees, on day 2. Made all that up for me because from the players that the Lakers have signed. But still, it's sad to see Alex Caruso go, but he deserved his money and a great opportunity to play in Chicago and have a better increase in role potentially backing up Lonzo Ball in Chicago. So I wish Alex Caruso nothing but the best there. But getting into day 2 of free agency, the main headline of free agency was Carmelo Anthony signing to the Los Angeles Lakers. Finally, after many, many years of the Lakers trying to pursue Carmelo Anthony, and I believe there was a time back in 2014 where the Lakers were so strongly interested in Carmelo Anthony to join the Lakers and to team up with Kobe Bryant at that time, was just a great opportunity for him to just, play for the Lakers at that moment. But, Phil Jackson, he was with the New York Knicks at the time, gave him a big contract, and, he signed that particular contract in 2014, and it's just ever since then, he always picks money over legacy, and that was like mainly his career. But he had a very good career. I mean, 10-time All-Star, and he's just been sensational throughout his career. And a scorer, a shooter, and it's just all combinations of being. If you want to build a franchise and want to find a player to build around it, is Carmelo Anthony. He's one of those type of options, and I'm a big fan of Carmelo Anthony, and I was always wanting to see him in a Lakers uniform, and finally we get to see that today. Finally, the Lakers signed Carmelo Anthony to the Los Angeles Lakers to a 1-year deal, which is a steal for Lakers Nation, and I have to say it was a good move by Rob Pelinka to bring him in. He shot 40% for the Portland Trailblazers, and I believe before then he averaged around 38% from the three as well. So his shooting will be a huge game changer for the Los Angeles Lakers, and I believe his role is going to be increased more than ever. He could be potentially backing up LeBron James, or potentially be backing up Anthony Davis at the power forward position. But the combination always goes to Russell Westbrook, because the combination of him and Carmelo Anthony will fit very well when it's all said and done, of his passing ability and passing the ball to certain players to make a shot happen. That is Carmelo Anthony. He'll make that happen for the Los Angeles Lakers going into the NBA season, and I just really can't wait to see this team surrounding Carmelo Anthony with the ability to shoot. So guys, I believe everyone who is an NBA fan, who's a fan of Carmelo Anthony and just loves his game and how he contributed very well for the NBA, we all really expect and rooting for Carmelo Anthony to get a championship under his resume, and it really seems that it's going to happen for him, and especially with the team that the Lakers are building around LeBron and Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook. It just really shows that the Lakers are title favorites when it's all said and done going into the 2021-2022 season. So really can't wait for that to happen, and welcome finally Carmelo Anthony to the Los Angeles Lakers. Welcome hashtag Melo to LA. It's finally happened. So I'm really happy about that. And then just right away after the Lakers signed Carmelo Anthony, Malik Monk was signed right away, being part of just a couple of seconds into the signing of Carmelo Anthony. Malik Monk signed to the Los Angeles Lakers on a 1-year deal, which also is a steal for the Los Angeles Lakers. Even though people were speculating the Lakers were going to sign a lot of veterans and becoming like the oldest team in the NBA, that wasn't the case. They signed a couple of young players who, Malik Monk is, I believe, somewhere around 24, 26 years old. So he's young. So the ability of him contributing to the Lakers with his youth will help big time for the Los Angeles Lakers. And, Malik Monk, what he brings to the table is shooting. He shot 40%, his career high, 40% from the three. So his shooting ability also is a big achievement for the Los Angeles Lakers. As I mentioned from the beginning, the Lakers' priority was to get shooters, and they got that in this free agency market. And one of them is Malik Monk. He shot 40% from the three, and I even mentioned this in my last video concerning how he plays. I haven't really seen him that much play in Charlotte, but what his resume shows is that he's a good playmaker. So the ability of him just facilitating the floor is something that he has a good trade at, and I think it will really help the Lakers in the second unit when it's all said and done. And he could potentially be the starter. The backup point guard behind Russell Westbrook, but it still remains to be seen about the rotation and how that work. His career high, he shot like 37%, his career high back in February of 2021. So you can just tell that he's trying to improve his game every single year, and he did so last season. So he's going to be a huge help for the Lakers going into the NBA season, and I believe he will be a huge contributor to the Lakers when it comes to playmaking and just facilitating the floor. And just really can't wait to see his game with the Los Angeles Lakers very soon. So really can't wait for that. And then after the Lakers signed Malik Monk, they re-signed THT, Tayton Horton-Tucker, to a 3-year deal around $37 million. Well worth it. I mean, that's just a perfect contract for THT, a second rounder. It just kind of builds the Lakers sort of a leverage of, even though he's coming back, he could be a good trade asset moving forward. And I think, some Laker fans don't really want to think that because, if they like somebody, hopefully they stick around. But, he could be down the line some sort of a trade asset if somehow it doesn't work out with the Los Angeles Lakers. So I hate to bring that up real quick, but that's just the truth, and that's how the NBA works when it comes to find certain ways to build assets to make trades happen. And the Lakers just getting THT coming back to the Los Angeles Lakers would be a great asset. But at the same time, you really have to think about this. He is going to improve his game going into next season. He said he's going to improve his shooting, and he's also going to improve his, just his defense as well. So, he's going to be a much different player going into next season as well. I mean, in his third year, his third year in the NBA as a Los Angeles Laker. And I'm really glad that the Lakers and Rob Pelinka worked it out and brought back THT to the fold. And the Lakers did lose a couple of players in free agency. I mentioned Alex Caruso, but they also lost, Markieff Morris to the Miami Heat. He signed a 1-year contract, and don't get me started with Andre Drummond. He really showed his true colors, to be honest with you. He signed a 1-year deal, and it was like a veteran minimum. So, it really ticks me off that, all indications that, the Lakers were going to give him a veteran minimum, and he said no, that he was not going to sign a veteran minimum, or he joked about it. But, when you joke so much and you see the reality of you doing what we wanted you to do, but sign somewhere else, it kind of just gives us a slap in the face, to be honest, to all Lakers Nation when Andre Drummond did that. And even though I would have really wanted to see him come back because he brings that defensive side of the ball and the rebounding, like the monster that he is when it comes to grabbing those rebounds like they are nothing, it's going to be missed. But, Dwight Howard will, fix that for the Los Angeles Lakers because he is a rebounding machine as well. And he plays elite defense like no other. He can guard elite, he can guard elite players like Nikola Jokic and, Giannis and, all those centers and / power forward-esque big men. And Dwight Howard would do that for the Lakers. But Andre Drummond is gone. He signed with the 76ers. And I believe I'm probably missing someone else. Ben McLemore, he signed with the Portland Trail Blazers. And obviously, it would have been nice to bring him back, but it was not really on the top of Lakers list. And I know some Laker fans were not really thinking that he would come back anyway. So, he's gone. And I'm probably thinking about some others, but I can't really think off the top of my head. Oh, yeah, the Lakers waived, what's his name? Alonzo McKinney. So, I think it was because they wanted to build a roster spot open to bring in somebody. I think it's in the works. So, we just have to see what will happen on the third day of free agency. So, I guess the Lakers are trying to plan something that will benefit the Lakers in a big way. So, we just have to look forward to that. But other than that, the Lakers did not bring back some of their players. Only one player really, and that was THT. So that's part of that news of today. And then lastly, and I have to say this was a surpriser and a good move, a great move by Rob Pelinka and the Lakers organization, and that is bringing Kendrick Nunn from the Miami Heat to the Los Angeles Lakers. Signed a 2-year deal, $10 million. I mean, talk about a steal for the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, this is a guy who, has similar traits to what Russell Westbrook brings to the table. That drive to the rim, to that motivation to just, bring that toughness for any sort of team, any sort of player that comes his way. And, he just has that. And I believe he brings shooting also for the Los Angeles Lakers as well. I might be mistaken, guys. I think he's shot 38 or maybe 40% from the three. I might be mistaken, maybe 37, somewhere around there. But he was undrafted, and the ability of him averaging around 14 points a game, it kind of shows you that he has the drive to really prove everyone who didn't give him a chance that they missed out. And obviously, having Kendrick Nunn on the Los Angeles Lakers will build a lot of momentum when it comes to being that tough and that aggressive when it comes to playing good Lakers basketball. And I really believe that he could be a solid six-man for the Los Angeles Lakers when it's all said and done. And I just really can't wait to see how he plays for the Los Angeles Lakers, because he brings that similar trait to what Russell Westbrook brings, and that toughness and that ability to shoot and go to the driving to the rim for layups, averaging around 12 to 14 points a game. I mean, he really will deliver that for you when it's all said and done for the Los Angeles Lakers. And yeah, guys, that's all we had to say. I mean, so far, the Lakers have been doing very well when it comes to free agency now. And even though they drafted some veteran signed some veteran minimums and players who are around, like, I believe the oldest player that's on that team is Carmelo Anthony, who is 37 years old. So 37 down to 32 years old type players. And I believe the total of that is like 7 or maybe 8 players who are in their 30s, and the rest are like Anthony Davis, who's 28 years old, and Malik Monk, I believe, is like 26. Kendrick Nunn, I believe he's also like 26 or 27 years old, somewhere around there. And THT, he's 22, and I'm trying to think about some others, but, it's an old team, but, they are a talented team. They have experience. They're veterans who understand the game and contribute to any sort of game, and they will give their talent, in every single night that they're in. So, it is old, but at the same time, they bring experience. And I just really can't wait to see this Lakers team to play to the best of their abilities. And, it's just going to be very fun to see this Lakers team, how they play well together, how they fit well together. And, it's going to take a while for some of the players to play, to have this type of rhythm going into the NBA season. But I think right away they're going to learn it like that, and especially when it comes to Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard, all future Hall of Famers. And, it's just going to be very fun to see this team play next season. And, free agency is still not over. So the Lakers are potentially going to build this team to the best of their ability. And there's a couple of free agents that are still available out there. I mean, I'm not sure about the circumstances of certain players that the Lakers could be interested in. There's still Andre Iguodala, who is still available in free agency. I'm trying to think about some others on the top of that list that I mentioned a couple of days ago that could fit with the Lakers. Robin Lopez, he's also a free agent if the Lakers are looking for another center. But there's a lot. JJ Redick, Paul Millsap as well. They can look for that sort of position when it comes to finding another shooter or maybe another big man. But, still remains to be seen, guys. And, there's a lot when it comes to the Lakers and free agency. And I want to give you all my thoughts and my opinions moving forward when it comes to the Lakers and free agency. And I really want to know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. And please, guys, give me your thoughts about the Lakers and their free agent signees so far. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Personally, I give overall, when it comes to the Lakers signee, I give it like a B+, because, the Lakers just did a very good job when it comes to signing some key players. But I still think that the Lakers should look for maybe another big man, maybe like another center, or go after another 3-and-D type of player. That's why maybe like a Danny Green could be another target for the Lakers. And Andre Iguodala, he's another 3-and-D type of guy who the Lakers could look for and potentially sign. And he's a former agent to Rob Pelinka, so the relationship is still there when it comes to that. And you never know if Rob Pelinka will pull off a trade tomorrow, and that is signing, Andre Iguodala. But still remains to be seen about that. And Danny Green is still in the conversation of an interest, but we just have to wait and see about the Lakers and their mindset going into the free agency market and what they will pull off. Because with them waiving, Alonzo McKinney, it kind of opened a spot for another player to be added. So, still remains to be seen about the Lakers, who they pursue in that particular position. So, of that particular replacement. So, they could be looking for somebody, and it's just in the works. So we just have to wait and see in the next couple of days, or maybe tomorrow, what will the Lakers sign in free agency tomorrow. So we just have to see in the next couple of days and see what's on the mindset of Rob Pelinka and the Lakers going into the free agency market to build this team to a championship caliber team. And just on paper, the way it is right now, the Lakers are championship contenders going into next season. So, and they will be competing with the best teams in the NBA, and one of them is the Brooklyn Nets, and they're just going to be the driving force of the Western Conference, facing teams like the Denver Nuggets and Portland and the Phoenix Suns, and all across the board when it's all said and done. And I believe I mentioned Denver. Denver is on that list as well. So really looking forward to next season, guys, and this roster. I really want to know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share my videos, and please hit that notification bell so you will know when I upload on this channel. And of course, guys, make sure to like all of my social media sites, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, @ZSPN. I'll leave the links to those in the description of this video so you guys can check out my social media sites. And of course, guys, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Go Lakers. Take it easy, guys. Stay safe out there.